Alien thugs mocked the crippled Phoenix girl at a Starport Bar. Moments later, human soldiers stepped through the door. Beginning. The neon glow of Orion's hub, a bustling Starport Bar on the rim of the Andrus sector, flickered against chrome walls and smoke-filled air. Every species in the quadrant passed through at some point: merchants, mercenaries, smugglers, and the occasional wandering soldier. At a corner booth, quiet and half-hidden by shadows, sat Kilira, a girl unlike any other. Her people, the Azaran, were known for their phoenix-like wings, radiant plumage of living fire that symbolized both pride and strength. But Kilira's wings were broken, crippled long ago in a crash that had left her barely alive. What once glowed like molten sunlight now hung like dull, ash-feathered remnants behind her back. She kept her head down, sipping nutrient broth, ignoring the stares. Most Azaran exiled the disabled, considering them cursed by the flame. Alone, Kilira drifted from port to port, surviving on odd jobs, repairing conduits, patching leaks, scrubbing fuel bays. She wasn't looking for trouble. Trouble, however, found her. 3 towering Gorvax thugs swaggered in, all scales and bony ridges, reeking of spiced rock gut. They spotted her instantly, the fragile Phoenix girl, alone and defenseless. One sneered, slapping the back of her chair. "Well, look at this," he growled in broken trade speech. "A firebird without fire. What good is a phoenix who can't fly? Maybe she flaps for scraps." The others laughed, banging their tankards. One reached out, yanking a burnt feather from her wing. Kilira gasped, pain flashing in her eyes. She clenched her fists but said nothing. Resistance would only make it worse. "Pathetic," another spat. "Your kind was meant to soar. Now you're grounded forever. Maybe you should crawl on the floor where you belong." Their laughter filled the bar. Most patrons looked away. No one interfered. In the harsh void of space, weakness was blood in the water. Kilira bit her lip, eyes stinging, until a voice, deep, metallic, and strangely calm, cut through the noise. "Careful," it said. "You have no idea what storm you're kicking up." The thugs turned. The door hissed open, and in walked humans. Middle. There were 3 of them. Soldiers by the look, worn armor, sidearms holstered low, the kind of presence that carried weight in every step. At their head was Sergeant Mason Hale, broad-shouldered, scar across his jaw, eyes cold steel. Behind him, Corporal Rena Voss, sharp-eyed and quicker with a blade than most smugglers were with a blaster. And lumbering last, tech specialist Owen Briggs, grease-stained armor plates, and a pack full of tools. Humans. The word alone drew murmurs. In this part of the galaxy, humanity was still a whispered legend. Many called them reckless, unpredictable, dangerous. Few had seen them in person. Fewer still lived to mock them. The Gorvax leader sneered, sizing them up. "This isn't your fight, Outworlders. Walk away." Mason stepped closer, his boots echoing on metal flooring. He didn't raise his weapon. He didn't need to. "You've got 2 choices," he said, voice even. "Step aside. Or find out why every pirate crew in Andrus swears never to cross a human." The room went silent. Even the bartender froze mid-polish. Kilira looked up, startled. No one had ever stood between her and her tormentors before. The Gorvax laughed, showing jagged teeth. "Big words. Do you bleed like everyone else? Let's find out." He shoved Mason.
"It was a mistake."
In one smooth motion, Mason pivoted, grabbed the thug's wrist, and slammed him against the counter. A cracking sound echoed. The Gorvax howled in pain. Before the others could react, Rena was already moving, her blade flashing from its sheath, pressing against the second thug's throat. Briggs, meanwhile, simply hefted a wrench the size of a plasma rifle, grinning like he wanted an excuse to use it. The bar erupted in chaos. Patrons scrambled out of the way. Chairs clattered, drinks spilled, neon signs sparked. The third Gorvax hesitated, eyes darting between his comrades. Mason's voice cut through the panic like a knife. Last warning. Touch her again, and you won't leave this station breathing. The Gorvax backed away, growling curses, but retreating nonetheless. They dragged their injured leader out, shooting venomous looks at the humans. And just like that, the storm passed. Kilira sat frozen, trembling. Mason turned toward her, softer now. You all right? She nodded slowly, unsure what to say. No one had ever defended her like that. Not since before the crash. Rena slid into the seat across from her.
They won't bother you again.
But out here, you can't afford to sit silent. You need allies. Kilira's voice cracked. Why would you help me? I'm nothing. Broken. She touched her wings as if ashamed. Briggs chuckled, setting down his wrench. Lady, I fix engines that are rusted through and older than this station. Nothing's truly broken. It's just waiting for the right hands. Mason gave her a long, steady look. Where we come from, we don't measure worth by what's lost, only by what's left and what you do with it. Something flickered in Kilira's chest, a warmth she thought she'd never feel again. Rising conflict. Over the next few days, Kilira found herself drawn into their orbit. She learned they were part of a human expeditionary unit, stranded when their transport was ambushed. While waiting for extraction, they took odd repair jobs around the port, staying out of notice. Kilira began helping them, her mechanical skills surprising even Briggs. Together, they fixed power relays, patched broken hull plating, even rigged a failing shield grid. For the first time, she felt useful again. But word spread. The Gorvax gang nursed their wounds with vengeance, and soon the entire Black Fong syndicate wanted blood. To them, the bar fight had been an insult that demanded repayment. The night came when the humans' rented hangar shook with explosions. Syndicate gunships descended, armed to the teeth. Dozens of thugs stormed in, weapons flashing. Kilira panicked. There's too many. Mason strapped on his rifle, calm as ever. Good. Means they won't run when we hit back. The fight was brutal. Humans fought with a ferocity few had seen. Raw, adaptive, relentless. Rena darted through shadows, striking fast. Briggs turned maintenance tools into weapons of chaos. Mason held the line, every shot precise, every command steady. And Kilira, she found herself in the middle of it, not hiding this time. She rerouted conduits, overloaded generators, and turned half the hangar into a trap. Energy bursts fried syndicate weapons, forcing retreat. By dawn, the attackers were scattered, broken. When silence fell, Kilira looked at Mason, breathless. I'm not weak anymore. He smiled faintly. You never were. Ending. Word of the battle spread across the station, across the sector. The story of a crippled Phoenix girl standing with humans against the Black Fong Syndicate became legend. For the first time, Kilira wasn't pitted or mocked. She was respected. The humans prepared to leave when extraction finally arrived. Kilira stood at the docks, watching them load their gear. You'll just disappear, won't you? Like all the stories. Mason paused. Maybe. But you don't need us anymore. Her eyes burned. I don't want to go back to being alone. Rena clasped her hand. Then don't. Come with us. We're building something bigger than fear and scars. And we could use someone with fire.